So, welcome to my presentation. My name is Caitlin Naqvi, and I will be talking about environmental education, expanding access here, there, and everywhere. So let's just get started with some background information. So, understanding and learning from our environment is a fundamental right, yet, it is often treated as a privilege in our society. Environmental education offers a multitude of benefits, ranging from individual welfare to a broader cultivation of environmental stewardship. And expanding access to environmental ed will yield broad and profound benefits for many communities, especially those historically deprived of such opportunities. Not to mention, we are all impacted by the climate crisis, and we need a broad range of perspectives in order to move forward in the most effective, relevant, and inclusive way. However, the barriers to environmental education disproportionately impact underrepresented communities. Therefore, the purpose of my study was to identify those barriers and propose solutions that schools, teachers, communities, and families can realistically implement. So, that's the kind of the background information. Moving forward to internship and methods. So I interned with Fiddleheads Forest School, which is an outdoor preschool located at the University of Washington Botanic Gardens, also known as the Arboretum. I conducted 6 informational interviews to learn about the barriers to environmental education and potential solutions that will increase access. I also completed a literature review to where I gathered more important context and background information regarding specific groups, experiences with, and participation in environmental ed. So, also as part of my internship and research experience, I produced a nature busy box, a nature themed busy box, which basically is just a collection of activities, which you can see in figure 1. So the purpose of this box was to expand on existing curriculum, to include environmental elements, which is actually one of the solutions I identified, which we will get to very shortly. And I can talk more about the box after my presentation as well. I have a whole presentation that kind of shows what went into the box and how I did it and everything. So I can do that at the end of my presentation. But in the meantime, moving forward to results, let's start with barriers. So figure 2 is a mind map that shows the barriers to environmental ed. So A, limited or no outdoor space. B, safety. This includes environmental health hazards and feeling unsafe and or uncomfortable in any given space. C, restricting definitions of nature in environmental ed. For example, the way we talk about these terms often exclude urban environments and denies the idea that environmental ed can actually happen indoors too. D, lack of true representation. So true representation in environmental ed refers to the incorporation of diverse perspectives, voices, and experiences in teaching and learning about the environment. Representation needs to be reflected in depictions and in practice. E, financial restraints. So this is a lack of outdoor resources, a lack of gear, etc. F, transportation, not being able to attain transportation and or feeling as though it is necessary to travel to nature, which in some cases maybe it is, maybe the space you're in isn't safe and you need to go somewhere else. But also this goes back to the idea that our restricting definitions of nature leave out urban characteristics, leading people to believe that they need to travel to nature in order to reap the benefits. So our very language plays a role in how we think about and apply these terms. And finally, G, a lack of teacher training. So this barrier just means that teacher biases are negatively impacting how students learn and or how teachers can also be unsure about how to implement environmental education into their curriculum. So it's also a barrier. These barriers extend across many communities, each facing unique challenges respective to their cultural and historical background. And in response to these barriers, I have identified 6 solutions that can be reasonably implemented on a small scale. Multiple solutions respond to more than one barrier, and many of them work most effectively when applied simultaneously. So the first solution I identified was expanding existing curriculum. This is figure 1. My nature themed busy box is a great example of how this can be done. It involves taking already structured curriculum and incorporating environmental elements. So for example, the nature alphabet or learning the alphabet, and you can put a fun little twist on it like nature alphabet. Um, so the second solution I identified is community engagement. The third is increasing anti-racism and DEI teacher training. The fourth is actively increasing diversity in outdoor spaces, and that truly goes hand in hand with increasing teacher training. The fifth, expanding definitions of nature and environmental ed to include more urban characteristics, and that will expand their applicability to a wider array of communities and individuals. And finally, number 6, advocating for and supporting environmental justice efforts, educating yourself on local environmental injustices, connecting with community members and organizations, and participating in community action. And I can expand on all of these too at the end of my presentation, but for the sake of time, let's move on to next steps. So the aforementioned solutions should be prioritized based on your specific community needs, and also making sure you are keeping in touch with the skill levels and comfort levels of the community that you're working with. That is crucial in order to engage them effectively and relevantly. And additionally, while this research primarily focuses on small scale solutions, the barriers identified impact communities on a much larger structural scale. So, in order to fully combat issues of equity in environmental spaces, large scale changes are necessary. And then finally, the future of my nature busy box. So this box will be given to a Seattle public school at the end of the year. And I intend to follow up with the school to gather feedback regarding what was effective and what might need improvement, more for my own curiosity than anything else. And yeah, that's it for my presentation. I want to thank everyone who supported me along the way, my site supervisor, Julia, faculty advisor, Tim, and my friends, family, my cohort. It's been a crazy year, but it's kind of coming to an end and it's a little bittersweet. And I just want to say thank you. So, yeah.